So everyone's on the 3.2 investigate cell division, okay?
Yes.
Alright, so who wants to read number 1?
Me.
Cheyenne.
Divide the poster board into 6 spaces and draw arrows from one space to the next to indicate a cycle. Label the spaces in order: interphase, prophase, metaphase, anaphase, telophase, and cytokinesis.
Okay, so flip your paper over. I already did it for you. It's divided into 6 squares, and it has them all titled, okay? So who wants to read the next step? Step 2, to Sean.
In each space, make a model of a cell and its DNA to indicate phase. Make sure you represent the cell membrane and a nuclear membrane when it is present and the DNA.
Alright, so you can see up here I already modeled what's going to go on in each one for you, okay? Because we already learned about this one yesterday. So we have each cycle and has their cell. Alright, who wants to read the next one?
Me.
Angel. Read number 1. What do you think?
In which spaces in the nuclear membrane present?
Alright, so where on these pictures do you see what could be the nucleus?
Oh.
Jonathan.
The first one?
Right, so where's the nucleus? What color would you say the nucleus is? The little envelope that holds the nucleus inside.
The orange one?
Well, what would the orange be, you guys think? The little squiggly lines. Angel.
The cell wall?
Well, this is the cell wall, the black one. Yes.
Cell membrane.
Well, that's the same thing, right? So we're looking for which one's the nucleus?
The blue one?
The blue ones, that's not it. Which one here do you think would be the envelope holding the nucleus in, Ignacio?
The orange one?
No. Andrew.
The green one?
Right, so the green one is called a nuclear membrane. It's like the little wall that holds the nucleus inside. So where else do we see that? What other pictures have that too? Anna Marie.
In the prophase?
Yep, we got it in the prophase.
And
Where else do you see it?
and the telophase and the cytokinesis.
Right, so it's in 4 of the steps. So, now what does number 1 want you to tell them? What do they want to know?
What do I want to know?
What does number 1 want to know? What's it asking you? Alright, so I just labeled on the board each step that has a nuclear membrane. So what you're doing for number 1 is you're listing the names of the steps that have a nuclear membrane, okay? So there's 4 of them. You should have 4 written down, and that's how you know you're done. So everywhere you see the light green circle, the nuclear membrane, you're going to write the name of that step on the line. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4 that all have a nuclear membrane. On number 1, yeah. No, flip it over. Number 1. Alright, so someone tell me which ones have a nuclear membrane. List them off for me. Quante.
Interphase.
Okay, so you should have marked that one.
Interphase.
Mark that one.
Telophase.
This one.
And cytokinesis.
Yep. So those 4 are the ones you should have had labeled that have a nuclear membrane. Yeah. Yeah, number 1. Alright. Who wants to read number 2? Angel.
In which spaces are the chromosomes condensed?
Alright, so what do chromosomes look like?
X's.
They're X's, right? So where in this picture do we see chromosomes? The things that look like the X. Quante.
Metaphase.
Okay, we see them in the metaphase. Andrew, where else do you see them?
Prophase?
Prophase. And now where do you see a half an X, a half a chromosome? Fernando.
Anaphase?
Anaphase. So now what does number 2 want us to tell them? What do they want to know?
Which spaces that X.
Right, so there's 3. So you're going to write which ones have the chromosomes condensed. So it's in the prophase, the metaphase, and the anaphase. So you should have prophase, metaphase, and anaphase for number 3. Number 2.
Oh.
Number 2. Because they're looking for which ones have chromosomes that look like an X. They want to know which ones have the X. Who wants to read number 3? Andrew.
What do the arrows in your model show?
So I have drawn in these purple arrows. What are they showing us? Angel?
The cycle.
The direction the cycle moves in, right? So Jose, what would you say is step number 1? Jose? Yep, so there's number 1. Abel, what's number 2?
Prophase.
Yep. Lionel, what's number 3? Jamal, what's number 4?
The anaphase.
Anna Marie, number 5.
Telophase.
Claudia, which one's number 6? Yep. So, on the answer for number 3, what are we going to say that those arrows are showing us?
The cycle.
The direction of the cell cycle. Alright, so who wants to read the challenge for us? Edwin.
How do you think cell division would differ in prokaryotic cells? Do you think cell division in prokaryotic cells will be more or less complex than in eukaryotic cells? Make drawings to show how you think a prokaryotic cell might divide.
Alright, so what's a prokaryotic cell? What does prokaryotic mean? Anybody? Anyone know what prokaryotic means? Cheyenne?
A cell that has no nucleus?
Right, no nucleus. What's an example?
Bacteria?
Right. So if they don't have a nucleus, which steps up here would I not use? Anna Marie?
The interphase, the telophase, and the pseudokinesis.
So those are the ones I would use or would not use? Wouldn't? Alright. What do you think, Cheyenne?
Interphase, prophase, telophase, and cytokinesis. You wouldn't use those.
Alright, so we have our little happy bacteria. And where's his DNA? Is it tied up in a ball? Does it look like an X, or is it loose throughout the cell?
It's loose throughout the cell.
Loose. So it doesn't have a nucleus. It doesn't have this green envelope around its DNA. It's just loose in the cell. So if we don't have that, we skip prophase, we skip the metaphase, skip anaphase. Where do I end up? Telophase. So I get 2 little funky looking bacteria that are getting ready to separate. Alright, and then what do you think is going to happen next?
They're gonna separate.
They're going to separate. So then you'll end up with 2 bacteria.